Welcome everybody from wherever you are watching and listening to this episode of Blah Blah at STAAH. I'm very happy to welcome Vaibhav Verma, who's Vice President of Sales at Jaypee Hotels and Resorts. And it's great to have you with us. And we're going to learn a little bit more about Jaypee and also yourself in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Listen, it's not very typical times at the moment. Lots of things going on that we wouldn't necessarily be dealing with. What does your typical day look like now at the Jaypee Group?
Well, as far as my day is concerned, it's always been, I have not changed much in terms of what I used to do pre-COVID to now what I do. My day actually starts a day earlier. My day starts the previous day, the last 1 hour of the day, where I plan for the next day. So I try to bring a continuity between one day to the next, so that this works beautifully, where I plan, schedule my entire next day the previous day, so that when I reach the next day, I'm not floundering around thinking, what am I supposed to do today? So it's already planned, and I can have my tea, my green tea in the morning, carefree, knowing what I have to do the entire day. The tea is most important for me because it revitalizes me and sort of eggs me on to move on. I start my day with my catch-up meetings with my team. I've got a largish team across the country now. Post that, in fact, I have 3 to 4 meetings lined up always because I'm in sales. So obviously I need to be definitely connected to the ground and the ground realities as well. Physical meetings earlier, now virtual meetings. One thing that I do always, and I've been doing that for quite some time, for the last, I would say 5 to 7 years, is that I take time out for myself during the day. That's approximately half an hour, 45 minutes, can stretch up to an hour, where I actually sit back. It's my me time, where I understand where I am today, what I'm doing, what I should be doing, where I'm headed, what I've done, is it working, not working. So it's basically an analysis of what I have been doing the entire day or the week or the month or the year. It gives me a certain perspective, which is very, very useful. I strongly recommend this to everybody, because typically we all like to be bogged down in our work, and we always say we don't have time, but we definitely have time.
Always planning ahead, but also giving yourself time to reflect on what you've done and ways of improving and optimizing your output, I guess, which is really important.
Absolutely.
Currently, we're going through a global pandemic. It's having a terrible effect on travel generally, and obviously hospitality particularly. When things are tough, as they are at the moment, who do you go to for inspiration?
One thing I always believe in is that tough times don't last, tough people do. And also, as far as inspiration goes, I definitely look at inspiration from everybody that have been connected with me in my life, whether it is my parents, my family, my immediate family, whether they were my seniors while I was growing up. I think I go to everybody in terms of advice and suggestions. I always take them. But mostly I rely on my own personal experiences of approximately 25 years, where I always look at it, at all the situations that I've been through and how I've overcome them. One thing that was always been constant is the fact that the answer has always been staring at me. Sometimes I look at it earlier, sometimes I look at it later, but the answer is always there. So right now also the situation, the way we are facing it at the moment, the answers are all there. I think we all have to look at it a little differently. I think we have to take off our blinds and look at it laterally. I think that is the way I look at it.
Excellent advice there. And it is so important to ask the people around you and to see the different perspectives that people have on the problem that you're facing, and that can always help, obviously, for resolving the challenges ahead.
Yes.
I mean, looking back at your 25 years in the business, if you could go back to yourself as a younger as a younger man, what would be the three things that you would tell yourself to put you in a better state for going forward into the future?
See, firstly, I believe that what I am today is a reflection of what I did in my past. So I'm more or less satisfied with, firstly, I would say well done, because obviously I'm quite satisfied with what I have become today as a person, as a professional, and I'm at peace with what I am today. So for me, I think I definitely have done something good. That's one. And but there are certain things that in my mind that I wish I could have changed, or I could have told myself at that stage. So some of it is personal, some of it is related to my professional life, but there too, again, more personal. The first part is definitely, I feel that I should have told myself to just chill a bit more, be more relaxed. I think I took a lot of stress earlier on, a bit too much, and I always fretted over many things which I should not have done at that point of time, which you realize later on in life. So yes, one thing is that I was always on the go, always more aggressive in my thought process, and there was too much stuff happening in my mind. So I just needed to calm down a bit. That is one part. Two is definitely, when I was much younger, I always used to think that I should do a backpacking trip across the globe, which I didn't, and which has always been sort of something that I always look back and say that why didn't I? So that's number two. And the third part is definitely, I feel I have the gift of the gab in a way. I have some decent writing skills. I should have started much earlier. I have actually picked it up in the last few years, but I felt that if I could have started much earlier, I would have honed it much better. And I would have been a little more accomplished by this stage where I am today. So yes, I should have definitely picked up the pen much earlier than what I have done. So these are the three things I think, which I feel.
Well, it's never too late, as you know, and you know, those three things that you have highlighted, basically relax, travel, and write, could be you know, could be the pathway for many people towards a better life, I'm sure.
Sure.
So really good advice there. Looking at a little bit more at Jaypee and how it's evolved over time. How are you kind of adapting and adopting new technologies at the moment, either to cope with the current conditions or just generally as the business evolves and goes forward?
As far as other hoteliers are concerned, there are a lot of people who have started adapting and adopting new technologies because of the current crisis. Jaypee has always been there at the forefront in terms of working with the best brands, most robust systems and the best brands over many years. So we have actually been always been up there in terms of adopting, whether it is the CRM, whether it is the property management system, whether it is the channel management system or the booking engine, or we have always worked with the best. We have always worked with the best because we realize that when you work with the best, the systems will never fail you in a way. And our day-to-day will be much more easier, and again, the customer experience will be much better. So I think that's why we have always gone with the best. And so whether pandemic or not, we would have always gone with the best technology.
Sure. No, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. And I mean, you know, often the best is a little bit more expensive, but in the long run, it tends to work out
good
cheap.
Return on investment.
And apart from hotels and hospitality, I mean, you've talked a little bit about your previous desire to have gone on a world trip with a backpack on and so on, and writing and so on. What are your other interests outside of work?
See, again, obviously, I'm a wanderlust, so I like to travel. So that is something that I would always want to do. Writing is something that I always want to do, and I am currently pursuing it. And thirdly, I think my big interest is sports. I have, I used to play it earlier, now I watch it. But I'm always inherently, in my heart, I'm a sports person. So whether it is cricket, whether it is table tennis or any other sport, I watch all sport. So I follow all sport. So that keeps me sort of alive.
Are you very competitive when you play sport?
Extremely. I win.
You always want to win?
I never lose.
You never lose. That's the perfect salesman then as well.
Yeah.
And talking about travel, when this is all over, the pandemic is finished and we're all able to book flight tickets to wherever we want to go, where's your first destination that you will go, either yourself or with your family? Where is it that you are really looking forward to traveling to?
Well, I'm a family guy, so for me, I just did for me, Austria was a place to go to. I loved the place, and I wanted to go to Austria, and I just did it in November, before the pandemic started. So that's extremely beautiful. I've never seen anything more beautiful in the world than Austria. I have traveled quite a bit.
Very similar.
Yes, it's beautiful, and so that is one. So that's a box that is already ticked.
Yeah.
So now the next, again, for me, who's living in Delhi, which is again surrounded by the pollution that we have over here, I think good, clean environment is what I crave for. My next step, definitely, I would like to go to is New Zealand. There are 2-3 aspects to it. Why? One is that it is COVID-free at the moment. So it is beautiful. They've been able to contain it. Number 2 is that it's natural beauty. It's pristine beauty of whether the beaches or the other parts of the country. It's beautiful. So I definitely would like to go there.
Well, definitely make sure you let the team know, and I'm sure that there's a lunch invitation waiting for you with the team in Auckland anytime you return from New Zealand.
Absolutely.
Listen, we're going to come to the end of the interview now, and we're going to just hit you with a few rapid fire questions. Answers as quickly as possible. Your favorite movie of all time?
Well, there are a couple of them, in fact. I wouldn't say one. So for me, my all-time is Life is Beautiful. Roberto Benigni, it was the actor and the director.
Fabulous actor.
That is actually my most beautiful movie, and in fact, how I have sort of shaped my life around that movie as well.
Wow.
So everything, life is always going to be beautiful. It's the way you're looking at it.
Exactly.
So that is one, and Sound of Music is the second one, which is again has a hint of Austria. My keenness to go to Austria came in. So these are the 2 movies that I love.
Excellent. Okay. Texting or talking?
Always talking.
Always talking.
It's more personalized. It's impersonal to text. It's not my cup of tea.
Absolutely. Okay, this is a difficult one. Who is the best cook in your family?
It's a difficult one. But definitely my wife. She cooks wonderfully. And I don't say it too often, but yes, she is the best cook in the house. But though I do cook also.
She gets to watch this so that she'll understand that
I will.
Okay. As a sportsman then, cricket or football?
Cricket.
Cricket, okay.
I'm an Indian. We love cricket.
Yeah, that's always the answer I get. That's always the answer I get.
Yes.
Okay, and the last question then, which is, I guess, how you look at challenges. Would you prefer to climb a mountain or jump from a plane?
Climb a mountain any day. I don't think I'm good. I have it in me to actually jump off a plane because I don't trust the plane or the parachute. I trust myself so I can climb up. That's perfectly fine.
Keep your feet on the ground, right?
Absolutely.
However high it is, as long as you've got your feet on the ground, you'll be okay.
Till the time I'm going up, it's fine.
Exactly. Okay, well, listen, that's come to the end of our time together. It's been a pleasure to chat with you and learn a little bit more about you and Jaypee Hotels and Resorts. So we wish you all the best in the future, and to everybody that's looking in and listening, we wish you a good day. And
thank you very much, and same to you, and thank you for having me here.
It's a pleasure.